If everything has a creator, who created God?
This arises from weak physics understanding. For example, could I have your phone? Assume I, as an engineer, invented this phone. Two conclusions here. Firstly, if I designed it, naturally, I pre-existed. Also, I'm not subject to the rules I placed on it. Because this is a phone, I'm human. Different kinds. Samely, God has created the universe. So God is pre-existed. Secondly, God isn't subject to rules like time and space. He established a universe. Naturally, for someone who isn't subject to time to ask who created him and question the past is illogical and contradictory. Say I applied for an infinite permission cycle to invent this phone. I can't do anything until I get the permission. Because the universe is created, so infinite creator loop never existed.
What's infinite permission loop you mentioned?
If I were to design the phone, I would ask for approval from my boss, he would ask his supervisor, and this kept continuing in a sequence. I'd never be able to invent the phone because the approval doesn't come. But if the phone is created and if I designed it, certainly infinite permission loop wasn't requested. Same way, God has designed the universe. So the infinite permission loops or question of who's the creator cycles don't apply. The universe is apparent.
Did Allah create us because He needed us?
The concept of need can be understood when a weakness exists. I have needs because I have weaknesses. But for Allah who has infinite might and ability, since there's no inability, it means Allah doesn't need anything. For example, if this room is full of light, we can't talk about levels of darkness. Similarly, Allah has infinite power, since weakness doesn't exist and there's no grading. Need is out of the question.
Why did He create then?
We must mention the reflection of Allah's names and divine attributes. For instance, Allah has the name Al-Hakim. He has the names Ar-Rahim, Al-Jawad. Hakim means doing things the most logical and useful way. Allah is Al-Hakim, and by creating the universe, highlights doing the most useful and logical thing and reflects His name. The other name is Rahim. This is from His mercy and compassion. As Allah is the owner of endless treasures, He wanted and chose to create and design a universe and provide gifts to all with His Rahim name's manifestation. Also, Allah's name Jawad derives from generosity. We can see the universe designed with His generosity.
Okay, but people also ask, is God an egoist?
We can explain egoism on two principles. First, selfishness. Second, pretending to have more or superiority. However, God can't be associated to these. Firstly, God has created and given us many benefits. This means selfishness is invalid. Secondly, God doesn't make false claims. He says, I know everything, and He does. He presents Himself as the all-able, powerful, and undoubtedly, He is almighty. So egoism is out of the question regarding God. Besides, egoism is valid for similar concepts. For example, there can be egoism between you and me, like who's more superior. But I can say, hey, I'm more superior than you, to a cup. It would be funny because it's a cup. Likewise, egoism can't be between different notions. So, between creator and humans, superiority or ego is impossible. It's absurd.
Okay, He doesn't need anything and isn't an egoist. He has created us, then why does He expect worshiping?
We can't look at this as a fact of need. Need is certainly for humans, but not for Allah. Humans have the need to worship. Humans are spiritually ill. When a doctor gives medication to a patient, the patient benefits, not the doctor. Then why does Allah want worship? As I said, we are spiritually ill. We are needy of eternity. Therefore, we need the remembrance of Allah and that we will return to an eternal life, paradise. So, Allah doesn't need our prayers. Besides this, we've been sent with a mission, getting to know Allah and worshiping Him. We shouldn't lose ourselves in worldly affairs, and worship will keep us on mission.